Hello and welcome to this video where I'll be talking about the top 10 tips for a successful exhibition. Now this year was definitely the year of exhibitions for us at Steelo, and we decided that it will be nice to share our experiences and knowledge about setting up and executing the most successful exhibition. Now the obvious thing is to choose the right exhibition. Now I guess it's easier said than done, but from a business perspective it is all about the return on investment. So I guess the starting point is to think, where do your customers go? Which exhibitions do they attend? Now this might not be as obvious as you think, because if you're a construction company and you exhibit at a construction exhibition, you might be actually not dealing with your target customers. Whereas if you go to another exhibition where homeowners go to, and could be like a flower show, then suddenly, even though it is not a trade-specific show, you actually are in front of your customers. So you have to think about it as to what is your best bet in terms of choosing the exhibition. Also, I'd say the location is important, whether it's local, whether it's far away, because that implicates the organizational side of things. If it's local, you can set up in the morning. If it's away, then you have to travel beforehand and sort out overnight stays. So the starting point is choosing the right exhibition. So the second tip is about choosing your display. Now this goes together with choosing the location and also the type of stand you go for, because quite often you have a choice of two. One is a shell scheme and the other one is space only. With a shell scheme, you basically have all the walls built for you with some lighting, and with the space only, you basically have the space only, so you have to build everything yourself. Now there are pros and cons, but if you are starting with your exhibiting, then I guess you should go for the shell scheme, and even within shell schemes, each exhibitor has different options. The things to look out for based on our experience is that initially we did have like an enclosed shell scheme. We felt it just looks better because we have then more branding space, but we realized that actually corner locations are much better because you're more exposed and quite often you have more traffic. This leads us on to the location. It's quite difficult to have one answer as to what is the best location, but obviously you want the high traffic locations. So those are the ones next to the entry, the exit, the toilets, cafes and theaters. As a company, we avoid the outside aisles because they are normally quite low when it comes to footfall. But again, this is down for you to decide. And with the pricing, quite often the organizers put a higher price on the areas that have a higher footfall. It might be tempting to pay less, but when you think about it, you're already paying quite a lot, so you might as well just pay a bit more and have a prime location. The other thing that we've learned is that your display, whatever you go for, should have some hidden storage space. You will need that for the leaflets, for even the equipment required to build the stand and so on. So always make sure you do have like a secret hidden space for yourself. Announce your presence. The whole point of exhibiting is to promote your company. So don't wait until the exhibition, do the work straight away. Very often you get the graphics from the organizers, which you should put everywhere you can in your digital marketing. So put it in your social media feeds, put it in your footers, in your emails, put it on your website, everywhere. Basically what you want to achieve is the notion that you're an active company, that you don't just sit in your office or wherever you're located, you're actually out there. You're out in the world promoting your business. Now the other thing that happens is that the more you invite people to the exhibition, the higher chances of them actually attending it. And then that means that that exhibition is more successful because there are more people attending it. So then the following year, there's this hype building and the exhibition itself becomes a success. And if you exhibit there, you're part of that success. The fourth tip is to set your goals before attending the exhibition. Now there's nothing more motivating than having a goal. And that is why you and your team that attends the exhibition, you should sit down before the exhibition and decide what are the outcomes. And basically they're nothing different than KPIs. And for us it is, for example, out of this exhibition, we need 10 hot leads from, let's say, the nuclear industry. Thanks to this, we then focus our energy on finding those 10 leads. So then when you are at the exhibition, you talk to a person and you quickly think, well, is he from the nuclear industry or not? And if he isn't, you can ask, well, have you ever been in touch with the nuclear industry, or are you able to put us in touch with someone from the nuclear industry? So that really helps in terms of focusing and coming out of the exhibition with the desired results. Double up. This is not only to cover for toilet breaks, but also people find it much more inviting to approach you when there's more than one person. We actually found that 3 people in the team works best, because then one can wander around and others cover the stand. But remember, a minimum of 2 people. Organizational turmoil during setup and breakdown. Now, unfortunately, exhibitions are associated with a bit of turmoil. Nevertheless, they're great fun. The thing to remember is to be organized. So before the exhibition, meet up with your team and decide who is responsible for what. Next, talk to the organizers about the logistics, because you don't want to carry with you heavy equipment from the exhibitors or from the visitors car park. Ask for direct access to the hall. And also beware that there's a queue forming, so the earlier you get, the better. Quite often there are external third-party security companies, and they just are told not to let anyone in, and sometimes you have to either persuade them that you can be allowed in, or again go to the organizers and ask for permission to go in. But indeed, you need to be very proactive to get things done and sort out the whole display. Talk to everyone. It is kind of obvious because you're there to talk to everyone, but many exhibitors just stay enclosed in their shell. Now, please try and speak to everyone you can, literally. What I find fascinating is that when it does get quiet, you might get bored, and there are people just passing by, just sort of couldn't care less. The thing is that they got out of bed in the morning with one thing in mind: to attend this exhibition. So for some reason, they did decide to come, so they must be connected to this industry. So the whole trick is to engage in conversation, almost dragging them into a conversation, saying, hey, have you found what you've come here for? And you'll be surprised at how quickly you can work out that this person is either a lead, a hot lead for yourself, or knows someone who is a hot lead. So be proactive, speak to everyone, and also leave your stand as much as you can. Go to other exhibitors, wander around, and also look out for improvements for your future exhibitions. Takeaways and freebies. Now, as we know, freebies and takeaways are associated by default with exhibitions. Sometimes people go there only for the freebies. Now, there's a reason why they're there, because we want the people who attended to remember our company. The obvious ones are business cards and leaflets. They are a must. There's this discussion or this new thing about digital business cards. Me personally, I prefer a paper business card, because this is then a reminder to make contact with that person after the exhibition, whereas if you just scan it, it is lost somewhere in the files. We also hand out tote bags with our logo on it, which is then another way to promote ourselves, because people then carry it and you can see our logo during the exhibition. And also the reason why people hand out freebies is to attract people. Now, there's a magical thing that happens, because when there's no one at your stand, everyone else that passes by, they avoid your stand. Whereas it only takes one person or two to talk to, and suddenly there's a small crowd building around you. So even if you have chocolates which people pinch like children, the reason for them is that they move closer to you and you can engage in conversation, therefore inviting others as well. Make friends with the organizers. Now, they are your best friends during the exhibition, so make sure you build rapport with them before the exhibition itself. This comes in handy when, like at one of the exhibitions, we didn't have power supplied to our stand, and because we've had a good relationship beforehand by email, it was very easy to then sort things out during the exhibition. Also, they have put all the hard work to make the exhibition happen, so appreciate their work and find the 5 or 10 minutes required to go to the organizers, say hello and thanks for setting this all up, and so on. They might in return invite you to a VIP event for free, so look out for that. But then also be transparent with your feedback. They will ask, how's the exhibition going for you? Don't say, oh yeah, it's wonderful, even though in your mind you say, oh, this is a crap exhibition. Tell them as things are. Just say, well, it's slow and you were expecting more people from the industry or something, because that is valuable feedback for them to improve the exhibition for next year. And also remember that they know everyone exhibiting there. So if you engage in conversation with them, they might say, oh, have you spoken to that exhibitor or that one there? They are your first point of call when it comes to networking at the exhibition. And finally, the last tip is to make contact with your leads. The whole point of exhibiting is to get more customers. So it's not just about exhibiting and job is done. You actually have to actively go back to all the business cards that you've collected. Now, I normally filter them out and I choose the ones that I feel are hot leads, and I actually don't bother with the ones that I just feel aren't worth my time. But what I do is also wait a day or two. Sometimes I wait until after the weekend to message the person, and quite often I try and put in a call to actions like, can we meet, or how about you meeting us, visiting us, just so that you do make the next step, because you do want that lead to change into a customer. Thanks for watching the video. Above all, remember to have fun and enjoy the exhibitions. Now, please comment below whether these tips were helpful. If you have any other tips you'd like to share with all the businesses out there, then please comment down as well. And I hope you have successful exhibitions. Thanks again, and good luck using these tips at your next exhibition. I actually just go to exhibitions for the free pastries.